So Lethal Company has been updated again. And we had no idea about it.
Hey, this place looks different.
Without any stalling, enjoy the chaos that ensued as me and 4 of my friends discovered the updates because it was hilarious. Just leave. Guys, it's right here! The exit's right here! And if you enjoy, consider liking and subscribing, and thanks for watching. Hey everyone, Fivers here, and today I am playing Lethal Company again after nearly a year and a half. We got Owen, Sam, otherwise known as Lumacitic. He's here. We're playing with Nate and Caleb. It's gonna be an interesting video. I'm really excited, and we're gonna go straight into it.
Oh man, Levi, did you install the mod with the voice, dude? I hate that.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Guys, there's like 12
Computer
things in here
voice.
that says they're depreciated.
Owen, are you wearing bunny ears by chance?
No, I'm wearing cat ears, thank you very much.
Damn. I was close. I was close.
Yo,
A little bit.
anybody checking their script right now? Check the script on Alt Tab. Is it flying with red? Or is that just me?
Oh, it's flying with red.
Yeah.
You sent the code. Thanks, Levi.
No.
You're such an appreciated person.
Import.
Oh.
Owen, can you start streaming so I can spam hurtful things in your chat?
Please don't do that.
Yeah, Owen, you should live stream.
Well, if Owen ever starts streaming, you know
On
where to find him.
KYS Gaming.
LGBTQ.
That category. Don't forget the autistic category after that too.
Yeah.
And I might just stream under like just the Africa category because you know I'm the biggest fan in Africa.
Oh.
I would actually like really watch a YouTuber like documenting the journey to being the #1 African live streamer.
Yeah.
Oh my god, guys. Owen loves me the most. He invited me first. Wait, there is cosmetic.
It's one.
There's no emotes
one,
anymore.
one.
This is gonna be just absolute chaos, bro. Owen, look at the
Target's a good
target.
boy.
I'm getting
It's a good boy.
flashbacks. I'm getting flashbacks.
Oh,
Oh no.
What is a good boy?
Don't even worry about it. Oh wait, hold on. I'll get.
Something's horribly wrong with
going
that bird.
Oh, dude, there's something wrong with that bird.
Yo guys, I think there's something wrong with that bird. Nate's got
Yeah.
like moose ears. What are those? Those bunny ears? What am I looking at? No, they're like
Here,
antlers.
flashlight. I'm going lone wolf. Where did
Okay,
my
Nate.
flashlight go? Oh,
Nate.
tab.
Okay,
Okay,
Sam has the
about
top
two.
hat. Caleb has the construction hat. Nate's got the antlers, and Owen has the
Nate?
cat ears. Got it.
We're going in.
Sam, you want to go on the fire exit with me?
Yeah, I got you. All right, hello, loyal viewers. Today, Fivers and Lumacitic back again.
Side
Another
quest day.
banger. We're playing Lethal Company. It's
Absolutely.
gonna get crazy. Make sure to leave a like, drop a follow, hit that bell. It's
Don't forget to
free.
subscribe.
Lumacitic to the moon, 10K subs.
Hell yeah.
Are we going in?
Oh, hey guys.
Oh, hey.
Hi.
This is the real one.
Pointless trip I've ever seen.
We were about to go on a
Hey,
crazy
Nate,
side
Nate,
quest.
You should go through this other fire exit.
Oh yeah, I want to see where it
See what's
goes.
on the other side.
I have a
No,
fire.
it's just like a trap. Bro, I'm right here.
I'm gonna put my
What's that sound?
butt.
What?
What? Who said that?
We
Yeah.
don't have walkie-talkies, right?
Woo! Oh, we're cooked. It's wraps. It's wraps.
Someone's throwing. Someone's throwing.
It's just time to leave, bro. Just leave. Just leave. All right, let's dip. Oh my god.
So don't pull the nuclear reactor cord in the nuclear reactor typically.
Something bit me. It was sitting in the hallway.
I wasted no time. I went to go tell everybody, yo, we found the reactor. And it was just gone. I couldn't get it.
I told Nate, don't grab that. And I knew you grabbed it.
Hey, open this door, man.
Guys?
Call me Peaches. Call me Peaches.
Right now.
Call me
you
Peaches.
bitch, or I will throw rocks through your windows.
I think we made our quota already. Holy.
In the future, we don't want to make the whole place explode.
That blows up
I think
the
it just
whole
blew
place.
up. Oh my god. Guys, did you... The whole place blew up. Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, is the quota daily? Oh no. That was like a tutorial round.
All right,
Nate, did you put down the nuclear reactor you brought in here?
No, I dropped it because I thought it was heavy.
Oh my god.
Are you serious?
Are you serious? That thing's worth like hundreds of dollars.
Wait, are you
Shame.
Oh,
Oh my God,
oh
shame,
my God.
shame,
You blew up the whole place and didn't
And
take a
left
dime
the.
with you.
Oh.
shame.
Hey guys, do you want to go to Vow? It's Eclipsed.
No,
No.
no.
No. Hey, this place looks different. This is a lot more foliage
Sam,
than
I'm
normal.
Yeah,
going
I'm
right
kind of
now.
afraid. Wait, guys, we have like walkie-talkies and stuff
There's a
coming.
house. Sam,
Oh my God,
Wait, guys, there's like
it's locked.
things we're getting
You
sent.
good?
No, it's locked.
Well, I tried. What up, slime? That's not a slime!
How long?
Guys! 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 Get me out of here, get me out of here, get me out of here, get me out of here. Are you guys out here? Hello? 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 Guys? Are you guys here yet? Hello? Guys? Are you real? Are you real? Oh my god.
We're real.
Guys,
Fake.
that scared the... I didn't realize the two people standing on the other side of the bridge were not real.
Yep, they're fake. That's Caleb. And he's fake.
Oh, he got slimed. So,
That's not
has
good.
anyone seen Owen?
He died.
How do we know?
He could be okay.
Huh?
Oh! Oh, I see.
Bird! Get off my head!
Oh, what? That's
I
tragic.
did.
Damn it, Nate.
Hey, Levi, what happened to you?
I fell.
Oh, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead.
Hey, Owen.
Bro.
No! Guys, there's a mask. There's a mask. There's a mask. Careful, careful. It just walked into that building. Alright, guys, just be careful. There might be a mask directly on the other side of this door.
Not it.
I'll go in.
Alright.
Right there.
So let's take the fire exit.
Yeah, he is just staring us down.
Wait.
The fire exit is blocked by a locked door, like immediately.
Look at bro down there.
We're cooked. Alright, guys.
Hey, is there fall damage?
Oh, wait, it came out, it came out! It came out, it came out. Alright, let's lure it this way and then juke it to the elevator. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Y'all suck. Get in, get in, get in, get in, get in. Alright, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. Beautiful.
We're so excellent.
Hey, everyone.
That's gonna be like an enemy.
There's gonna be one of them stand.
We get out of here.
Ooh, a key.
Guys, I'm safe.
Guys, it's me, I swear. I'm real, I'm real.
It's really, really me, I swear.
I'm real, I promise, I promise. Come here, come here.
Hello.
Why are you not following
Is
me?
Owen okay? Just start
Why
ripping
are we
voice
sitting in
lines.
4-stack?
Hey!
Oh,
Uh-oh. Guys, I heard the elevator. It might be Raps.
It's probably just Owen.
I hope.
Hey, fire exit.
Yeah, I could use a little help here.
Owen, where are you?
I'm by the elevator.
He's such a.
I don't know.
fake
Oh no, I don't know if
villain.
we can get over there. I don't know how to get over there. I think it's genuinely a dead end this way. Oh no!
Oh no.
Guys, find the baby, find the baby, find the baby, find the baby.
Where's the baby?
I don't know! Oh my god, we're so cooked.
This is where it came from.
No! No, please! Please, someone help me! Someone help me! Help me! Help! Someone, please! Please! No, guys! Guys, you can save me! You can save me! Oh no, the man-eater's there too. I'm so cooked. Someone help me! Someone help! It's so over. Guys, I'm gonna die. I love you all. Oh, thank you! Kill it! Kill it! I'm almost dead! Oh. Oh. Oh.
Levi, this way.
Holy.
Pick up the orb. Pick up the orb. Pick up the orb.
Thank you.
Dead body of Lumicidec, cause of death mauling.
That was me! Bro, Caleb knew he was about to die, so he just slimed me while he was at it, bro.
Bro, I didn't even have a chance.
Oh.
I watched Levi and Caleb die in a pretty.
What just happened?
What even was that? I just died instantly without knowing what happened.
And Nate fell down a hole.
The man-eater baby was crying and then ran up to me, scared the fuck out of me, and ran away from me.
Owen.
And then also I got pinned by a slime in a mask.
You didn't take care of the baby.
I didn't have a choice. It ran up and ran away faster than I could react. It also ran through a slime, and I couldn't case it if I wanted to. I was
Likely
genuinely
story.
in the trenches. Okay, you kill yourself.
Holy rage bait.
Say don't speak up, bro.
Okay, guys,
I mean,
we have
would've
some
survived.
tragic
We would've
options.
survived.
So
Is this the same map?
yeah, but it's gonna be like a
Yeah.
different facility layout.
My clicker.
I'm sure. What was that? Does anyone have any like a sign or anything? Caleb, follow my voice. Follow my voice. Follow my voice. We can get you out of here. Follow my voice. Follow my voice. Follow my voice. Turn right. Turn right. Follow my voice. This way. This way. Another right. Another right. Yep. Door. Door. You're there. Go through the door.
Oh. We can go around that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna take Caleb outside. Rest in peace, brother. Well, there might be somewhere else we can go in the steam leak. Uh-oh. There's a locked door. Okay, well that blows. Hey, is Owen dead? Owen? Oh no, I don't like this. I hate everything about this, actually. Is that it? You know what? I'm not gonna ask. Nope. I'm sorry, Caleb. I'll come back for your corpse. Very dead.
Hello?
Hello?
Who's this?
It's Levi.
Hey, what's up, gang? Nate's dead.
I think Owen's dead too.
I don't know what killed him, but Nate is most certainly dead.
Dude, where's the light switch in this thing? It's so dark in here.
Dude, some of those caves are just pitch black. I got hella money.
Lights! There we go. Dude, that was driving me nuts.
Forgot how to grow gills.
Oh,
so
he
Owen
drowned. Oh, did you drown when we were walking together?
It's crazy that these people who do backbreaking labor all day can longer than 5 seconds. It's actually comical how quickly I drown.
Nate, ring the bell 1,000,000 times.
No, don't do that.
I know this part.
I know this part.
Hell
Glorious. If we die, we also lose money, so it's better to spend as much as we can. So that we don't lose a bunch of money if we die.
Look at this guy min-maxing. Oh, tonight, my hips don't lie. I'm starting to feel
Sam,
shy.
join in on the
Good for
dancing.
you, bro.
Oh? Oh, my bad.
Whip,
Hey.
Let's get food.
your body moving.
Wait, where are we?
360.
Are we at March?
Oh, this is this map was revamped. This is not what March looked like
Whoa!
last time we played.
Wait, these can't like collect. Oh.
Sam, what are you doing?
Oh my god, I'm alive.
Guys, I ordered stuff, chat. Are we gonna wait for it?
Interesting. No, I'm gonna wait for it. I just want to see what's popping off with this. That's sick.
Oh,
No, come this way.
Oh.
you can swim in this.
I don't
Um,
know if I would.
I don't know about that,
I don't
Owen.
know if I would either.
I just barely
It's
survived.
deep.
You gotta drown him.
Cat, help me, I stepped in a wasp's nest.
Caleb, is Caleb alive?
Said he's gonna die.
Caleb? Oh.
Sam, what is this thing you got? What is this thing?
What?
Oh my,
Lock picker.
bro. Sam.
Sam?
Sam, no way.
Is he where I think he is?
What? No, no! What the hell? Owen. Dude.
I think we should do basic ones, or basic ones.
Stop. Dude, I'm cooked. This thing's gonna come in here. What the? What? It teleported.
Did you measure it?
No, that's where it grabbed Nate.
Dude,
Levi, there happen to be two.
we didn't even get to like start the
What are the
round.
odds that yet again we all spectate Owen die and his only response is bruh?
Pretty high. Oh, he's cooked.
Okay, well.
We've
Hey,
got so
Owen.
many masks.
We
All
can
right.
Go back there. Now that we know the risks of the environment.
I'm not liking the water.
Wait, I can't buy anything. Hello?
Yeah, we're poor.
No, like
don't know,
I
like,
can't
that's
type
it,
anything in
that's
there.
Oh, I don't know.
No, like I literally can't type anything.
Hey,
But I bought 2 flashlights so far.
lifestyle's driving you crazy.
Okay, yeah, I could buy 2
Hey.
walkies.
It might
Okay, our
be the-
target
the
is a
30
snare
knots.
flea this time. Maybe it's not that bad.
I'm going
Oh, good,
in
it's gonna land
right
on my
away.
All right, I'm gonna go camp the drop ship to get some stuff.
Okay. I'm gonna sit here and cry.
I'm heading in. I got a light.
Okay.
I'll come with you, Levi. We're gonna go in there and they're gonna be all dead. What was that about? Somebody died. Oh. What the hell?
Something's.
Hello?
Hey,
Okay.
I don't.
So what happened to him?
turret.
Are you real?
Oh. We
Okay.
need you to guide us. We don't have lights or anything.
I can't see.
All right, we might have to try to dodge this turret.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Oh wait, there's a door here.
How'd that work for you?
Sam? Sam?
I'm good.
Oh, he's actually alive.
Okay, so I did in fact get shot for nothing.
Should we try to? Uh-oh. 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 That's
What?
bad.
What?
I heard the snare flea thingy crawling around. There's a turret over there. There's a turret. There's a turret.
Coming to me.
Oh, you're right.
Sam, don't go that way.
That is a turret. The flea is here.
Where?
It's here. Where the fuck am I? Come to me.
I'm here. I'm here.
It's on the ground somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Where the fuck am I? Who the
Dude.
fuck am I? Why?
Oh,
the
we're so cooked.
Yeah, let's make haste and bounce, Scoob.
Well, we gotta stay together because the snare flea
Yeah.
is somewhere.
I'm just repeatedly scanning. Oh no.
Which
We low-key walked in a straight line, and then we need to turn. Uh-oh. Wait.
No, it was this way and then it was right.
Wait, where's?
We
Oh,
can come
okay.
now.
We did not come from
This
here.
way.
Snare flea! Shit. He's cooked. Let's just dip. Caleb, we can't help him.
Okay. Where we go?
I'm sorry, Sam. I think this way. Rest in peace, Sam.
We totally should have got his body. Oh, he's
So, we got 1 bottle.
Oh my god.
And what, 2 keys? Let's go to an easy move.
The shit out of your body after you died. That's all I did afterwards.
I was going between spectating the 3 brave individuals actually going in the facility and you trying to get my body up on the table.
You know, Owen, for what it's worth, when I walked in the building, I heard gunshots, and then I saw Nate running like an action hero with your corpse from the bullets. I became one with the fleas. It was actually pretty cool for a little bit. They're pretty chill.
So,
So you guys
Owen,
come here
Facility
brave
fellas?
leader.
Oh, it's me.
No, no, wait, no!
Oh!
Oh my
Oh
god!
no.
Holy
Maybe not
throw!
my stuff.
Totally fine.
Holy throw!
Totally fine.
I'm taking a flashlight.
Yeah, leave
I'm leaving it.
everything,
I'm
bro.
leaving everything.
No, because if we die,
Yeah,
if we
no
fumble,
fucking
we
mad.
lose everything. So we should.
Why are we already mad?
Jet, we should leave right away.
It's eclipsed.
So, who wants to go say?
Shut the door.
Jesus Christ.
Was
Oh,
I not grabbed by the big guy?
No.
No.
you got ripped to shreds by a dog.
What?
It literally jumped into the ship. Dude, what were the chances it was eclipsed, bro? Oh my god. Oh no, I can type now. I just like lost the ability to type earlier. Alright, 4 flashlights.
Mute yourself. Let's see. I said, who's gonna go say hi? And then I died immediately after.
It's funny how it just slides at Caleb.
Like, you really did.
Are y'all just going to the facility right away? Like, what about the stuff we're about to get delivered, you know?
Yeah. Let's let Levi figure out the bird.
Bro. As I walked over here, I heard you, as the bird, say, yeah, let's just let Levi figure out the bird.
Oh. It's an interesting voice line.
I know, it's like it literally snitched on you, bro.
Flashlights? Levi, do you got flashlights?
No, I only brought one.
There's nothing over here.
Did you put the rest in the ship?
Yes.
And not
Oh no, I hear the nutcracker. Y'all, careful. Careful out there.
It is nuts.
There's nothing over there.
Right now.
Well, hey,
I hear him.
mine shaft.
He's over here.
I hear something undesirable.
Hey,
I got a camera.
mine shaft.
17.
Hey. Mine shaft.
Who's texting me?
Minecraft.
Oh, he's here. He's here. Nutcracker's down there to the right.
Got it. I'm coming down this way. I'm gonna see what's at the end of this hall.
Who's him? Hey.
There's a turret!
Oh, what happened? There's a turret at the end of that. Okay. Caleb?
Who goes there?
How did you die?
I don't know. I spontaneously exploded.
Hello.
Owen died as well?
He threw
Indeed.
an egg at me and it exploded.
But how did he die?
He threw an egg at me and it exploded.
I wasn't even the one who.
I mean, we got money. I say we
I was
just
trying to
redid
drop
what we got the
that.
body.
Wait, that one's actually my fault. I was
That's
trying to drop
crazy.
it.
Genuinely, one of the best sounding things in this game is recharging your flashlight and then moving your head side to side. Give it a
Man, I want to try that.
Give it a go.
Ooh. No, guys, please. I hate everything. Yes! Haha! Haha! Haha, bozos. Snare flea is the target. Okay. I'm gonna start trolling them. Saying some nonsense so they think I'm an enemy.
Don't go in there.
What was in there?
Snare flea.
What are you doing?
It dropped in front of me and started chasing
Hey
me.
guys, don't go in there.
Let Sam going. Let Sam going.
Yes, Sam likes
Don't go in
them.
there.
Hello?
Hello?
Sam?
Sam?
Hello?
Are you real?
Hello?
Hello?
Sam?
Oh, there's a mine in there. Don't jump. Don't jump. It's not. There's nothing here.
Alright.
Dad.
What?
Hello,
I found the reactors over here.
Ooh.
Okay, we should just take
Do
it
we
out.
know how to get
Yeah,
out?
that's what I was just thinking.
Wait. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I know how to
it's
get
like
out.
straight that way.
Okay.
At least I think.
Should I pull the plug?
Hold on. Wait. I wanna. Oh, never mind.
Yep, here we go.
I was told yes.
You went the wrong way.
There we go.
This way,
What
right?
the fuck is that?
Oh no. That's literally the worst thing that could happen.
It's right next to the legit friend.
Go up. Go up. Guys, it's right here. The exit's right here. Come to my voice. Come to my voice. It's right here. Quick. Quick. It's not worth it. If that thing opens, we're dead. He's cooked. What is that? Was that mud? What was that? I think they all died.
Step down here.
Help!
Holy.
Get in.
I'm here. Nate! Shut it!
We gotta leave. Already leaving.
I got quicksanded to death.
I
That mud that you guys stepped in, that mud, I succumbed.
Oh.
Really?
I got snare feed.
I think
Yeah, I
the apparatus
figured.
weighed me down too much. I couldn't
Snare
get out
feed
of
sucked
it.
me off until I died.
Damn.
These are both dead ends.
There's an axle. I found an axle.
There's a bomb right there.
I want a key.
Go through.
Dude, someone's gonna step on that
far
and blow
end.
everyone up.
I hear nothing but whistling and I'm freaking out.
It's me. Again. Hello, Scrap.
There's something. I
There's
saw
just, like,
something
staring-
moving
oh.
Caleb's camera. Yeah, they're having
Wait, it looks like. Oh.
Oh.
Okay, let's
I
go grab
see.
more, the rest of the
Let's go grab
stuff.
The axle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The exit's here. The exit's here. Hello? Do you guys hear me? Maybe they went out the fire exit. Any news
They're
on that?
dead.
They
dead.
all died?
They're all dead. They are all dead, I'm pretty sure. They're all sitting there non-moving, so we're leaving.
Well, we easily made our quota. That's good.
We got gooped on crazy style, and then 3 bugs were swarming us.
Have you guys ever had the pleasure of getting gooped on?
I have been goofed on before.
Everything.
we got gooped on our
I couldn't
exit.
move.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
What's the dog with the nutsack? On its tail?
Oh, the
The, like, shaker
lizard,
thingy?
spore gecko.
That thing was also present.
Yeah, those things are
That's
non-harming though. They look just run around and shit.
Are we selling everything?
Oh, they don't hurt
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
I thought they
you have to
did.
like provoke them.
I go. You. Who got grabbed?
Why'd you do that?
Wait,
Is it
who's
Nate?
missing?
Oh, okay, it's fine if it's
Yeah, that was Nate. That was Nate.
That's fine.
Oh my god, there's so much. Oh yeah.
Don't go to spending spree. Give me a shotgun. I want you the shotgun. I want a shotgun and like 4 shells.
I want a shotgun just to shoot Owen.
Son.
No.
I'm gonna shoot Nate first before he can shoot me.
And I lost the ability to type. Here, I can be man in the
Let me
chair.
be cameraman with the teleport button so I can eat my food.
Oh.
Boing. Boing.
Alright, I'm gonna land this ship.
Bro's
We're going
bouncing
about-
crazy style.
All
Oh,
around.
The
bro.
target is masked.
Here you go, Sam.
Send a reel.
Bruh.
This dumbass is on reels.
Oh my god.
Sam, get off rails.
We already found the reactor. It's like hard right.
That's hype. Oh, you don't have to do that jump. But.
Bruh.
Kill! Nope! I hate it. I hate it. I hate everything. I hate everything. I hate everything. Get me out of here. I'm gone. I'm gone. Oh, I'm cooked.
Time to grab it.
Well, shit.
Interesting. I never
Sam?
left the ship.
I think you probably got slimed
Who
out by a
wants you to
masked. Owen's taking care of a child. I got killed by a spider. What is that? Oh, that's bad. Oh, it's so raps for Owen. He's going through the literal trenches right now. Well,
Go.
you gave it your best.
Bro, please tell me you were
How do you get away
spectating
from
me.
that?
I was.
had the
You were literally in the
fingers
trenches.
of
Into the
monster.
reactor room. and it didn't follow me.
Sam got slimed in the ship.
Hey.
Yeah, this is true.
Oh. Oh.
Just drop it, please.
Oh my
Not
god.
good.
Nope.
What is going on?
What are they?
Where'd it go?
Dude.
Yeah, the mask that killed Sam. Oh my god. There's no way. There's no way. Oh my god. They're gonna get killed because the door's gonna
Oh my
open.
god.
Dude.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, they just teleported my masked corpse.
Wait,
We could
what
go
the?
We did it.
I tried to get the.
Oh my god.
tried to
So
get
left
the thing.
Oh my
Left
god,
it.
you guys keep
You
throwing
tell-
so hard to get
Hole. Okay.
How's that
I'm-
me?
Oh my god, they got it. Dad, you teleported me in and I was masked and you just ignored me.
Yeah.
Talking to me?
Hey guys.
You two.
That's why we spend all of our money
That
because we
mask
just
has been
lost
in here the whole time.
$200.
No, that you
Not the one
teleported
that was on
Owen's
me.
corpse in, and it was masked, and it was just hanging out with you guys. It didn't kill you. You and
So-
Nate were legitimately like this, just like talking, and he was just like chilling
it
right
was
here.
clipping into your body, Caleb, and I'm surprised it didn't just kill
Oh,
you
then it
instantly.
must have. It was. There was nothing. Nate, did
There was
anything
nothing, I
teleport
didn't
in
see
here when I
anything.
brought? Yeah,
No, there was
nothing.
nothing.
Nothing showed up.
That's
on
why I
either of our
didn't kill
screens
you.
then.
Oh,
Bug Mafia? Oh god. So that's really bad.
Back room.
Hello?
Oh.
No, I'm not. I'm trolling. I'm trolling.
Okay.
I literally heard. I have 3 keys.
Okay.
I heard a man-eater crying, but I think it was just schizophrenia.
this
That
is
one?
the fake one.
Okay.
Because the space between the exit and the bracket is fucking huge. So that was the fake one.
Oh, I see that.
Exit, many spaces.
This one's real.
No,
Yeah,
no, no.
the one over there is the fake one.
This is the real one.
Get the fucking react.
Wait, what the guys, don't walk in the corner. Don't walk in the corner.
Oh my god. That was not there 2 seconds ago.
Don't step on the landmine.
Where's that bomb?
Copy that.
Bro.
So you need to teleport. You need to teleport Caleb's body back to the ship.
Sam,
And also
TP me
Nate's.
as well.
And also Nate's. No metagaming.
Bro got a 2 for 1. Holy. Dude, why is there like actually a million keys in this place? Uh-oh, uh-oh,
I
uh-oh.
think this game's worse than Faz when you're dead.
Guys, it's Raps.
Oh, Owen is dead?
What is that? Yo.
Space between the exit and the bracket is fucking huge.
What the fuck is that sound? What the fuck? Dude, I hate this. Let me leave! What is that? Am I gonna get like jumped if I go near that thing? Bro, it's laughing at me.
Levi, do you have the walkie-talkie now?
Yes.
Okay, if you turn around, there should be loot up your left. Are you coming
Brother,
back?
I am leaving. Dude, what are those like little eels on the ground? Those are new. And they're freaky. Oh no. Oh no.
What?
He's gotta be
That's-
playing with us, right?
Wait, what? Who's alive? Oh, did you wait. Oh!
Fuck up!
Did you get teleported out before you got slimed by the bug?
I hope he dies.
Shut the door. We're leaving.
Okay. I was so
I saved
confused,
his
bro. So how was that bomb?
You killed the game.
Dude, does anyone know what those like eel things are that are on the ground?
Oh, the little fish things?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw one of them. I don't know.
Backwater gunkfish?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
What's
Does
it
it look
saying?
like a
Gunkfish.
Like a stingray. Yeah.
yeah, it looks like a stingray.
Spends most of its time on land, can inhabit any space. Not directly harmful, often considered notorious. Is evasive, capable of fitting itself into very small holes and pipes. It's fine.
Sam.
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 They're scheming some bullshit right now. I know it. Yeah, I'm getting
bye.
teleported.
I'm just leaving his stuff, bro.
Who even needs a flashlight? Not me.
Oh no! Nutcracker.
Someone's chasing us.
I found a free flashlight.
Okay, when it stops moving, you have to stand still entirely and don't say anything, or it will shoot you with a shotgun.
Nate, go straight.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's the apparatus already.
It's glorious.
I think we should just take it a dip.
No.
Caleb, come back.
Who died?
Well,
What?
well.
Well,
That thing
well.
just ran a train through all of us.
It's always two who? It's always which two?
Oh, okay, cool.
I thought.
Cool.
He's about to find out.
What's gonna be?
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Jesus, what the f happened? God, Jesus Christ.
Dude,
Go for
I
the
thought
apparatus?
if you sat still it was like fine.
I don't know. I was completely still and it ignored me for like 20 seconds, and all of a sudden it just flicked and blasted me.
No, I'm sure you guys are discussing it. I'm gonna need a full-length explanation as to what the f happened. 'Cause I was watching. Don't worry, Chad. I'm goated. Interesting. I better get like a medal for this. Wasn't 5 scary time? I'm gonna head home.
Yeah, 5 is scary time. He's got
5 is scary time.
No way a single nutcracker murked all of you.
He's dead. Goodbye, Sam.
No. It's making noise. It's oh.
That's unbelievable.
Don't worry, Chad, I'm goaded.
Everything is good.
Oh, so actually that was our last day. I have a better idea. Shall we see who can die first?
Oh, is
Yeah.
that what's going on? Oh, is this
Yeah.
we were at a deadline? Okay,
Yep.
I see.
Yeah.
Target's a good boy.
I'm gonna
That's a good
win.
sign.
I'm gonna win. I'm
Damn.
gonna win.
That's crazy. No way! Y'all suck. At least bring Caleb back too.
You know, Caleb's gotta get it too.
I want him to.
I wanna bring Sam back one more time.
Dude.
Wanna bring Sam back?
No, bring Owen back. He's probably in the building.
Wait, no, until Sam goes to die.
Fuck you.
Yeah, let Sam think he's gonna cook.
Let him start
I
going.
deleted it. I just sold it.
What? What? No way. You just let Sam win, bro.
Oh, there's a pile of items here. I think Sam died. There's a key. Oh my god. Fake fire exit. This guy.
No way.
God damn it.
Something? Anything? Damn, why is it so chill in here? Nope. Bro's
This is
calm.
my death.
Nah, kill me, bro. Slime me out, slime me out. Juice! Yes! Let's go. Let's go.
Owen lost.
So how'd you guys
Locked
die?
onto Levi.
Fake fire exit. Fake fire exit.
Nice.
Sam?
I don't know how Sam died.
Oh, good
He
talk,
hasn't
good
said
talk.
anything. Alright.
Once you have not met the profit goal, your performance
Well, thanks for
goals
playing,
will
everyone. It was fun.
your disciplinary process.
Yeah. I enjoyed being multi-dead.
Bye. We suck at this game!